review this then. It's a Whirlpool Inspirations AWM328. I've been after one for quite some time, and a lot have appeared over the past, but quite frequently over 200 miles away. This one actually appeared around 70 miles away in Doncaster with a seller I bought from previously before, a few times. So anyway, I've been after my uncle's machine originally, but I don't know the exact model number. I ended up with an AWM325, which, if anyone remembers, it's a few years ago now. I still got it, but it will be scrapped basically now, unless anybody wants it. But that one, of course, I went to go pick it up for 30 quid, that one. And when I got there, the spider was absolutely knackered, so I just basically gave her a tenner as scrap value. So now I've got it back. The spider not only gone, but as soon as I turned it on, it tripped electric that badly. It tripped electric from the other unit in my old unit. Yeah, so it was never used then. No idea what's caused it. I expect that it's cut through the heater and the drum are actually live together to create such a current like that. Anyway, I thought, well, actually I'm more after the actual top of the range model. That's 1200 model, my uncle's one was 1100 model. But I have seen plenty of these in the past, and a lot of my family had the Inspirations range, just not obviously this model. So to actually get a hold of this, it's like the whole I'm getting the same but doing better. This is top of the range, and what makes it different from all the other models is that the other models have a mechanical timer, and this one actually doesn't. You just simply turn the dial to what you want to select, and then you just hit start, like a modern washing machine. But this is the very late 90s. These kind of timers weren't really in existence. Miele were using PCBs at this point, so they did have proper, you know, modern standards of doing single selector timers. But for the rest of the manufacturers, they had a bit of a problem they tried to make electronic boards work with timers. They were always known as hybrid timers, effectively. And I'll give you an example. Zanussi actually used hybrid timers throughout the majority of the 90s. This is no different, but it works pretty much in the same way as the other timer. It's exactly the same timer as the normal timers on the slightly later Whirlpools, i.e. where the timer actually goes all the way around once. So stuff like my AWM5125, the timer will go all the way around on every single cycle. And this is exactly the same. It will do that. Whereas if you had lower models like that one in there, it was kind of like a proper timer, but it was still a hybrid timer in a very weird way. So, yeah. Right, so we've got a kick plate, which actually is filthy and needs cleaning. And behind here, we've got our coin filter. It is a bit of a pig to get open. I could doing a video on that. My auntie and uncle's one that they had, before it got completely wrecked, this was missing, and the entire pump thing had actually kind of come away from its chassis, which was a bit weird, but it worked. But effectively the suspension was absolutely knackered, as they all do on these. So just like everything from the 90s, all your programs are listed on the detergent dispenser. We have a total of 7 programs. Basically we've got cotton, synthetics, delicates, wool and silk, as well as a rinse and fast spin and a short slow spin. A wool spin is what it is. Right, we've got all our option buttons here and start. The start, you just simply push and it will go advance the timer straight away, or you can push and hold start and it will cancel the program. Right, we've got energy save, once selected, so it will do the washing at extended wash at a reduced temperature. So 95 is carried out at 60, 60 is carried out at 42, 40 degrees is carried out at 30, 30 is carried out at 30, pretty much still. But yeah, it extends the wash at a lower temperature. Lightly soiled is just actually reduces the water level in the rinsers. It will still carry out 3 rinses, say like on the cotton cycle and the synthetic cycle, so no different there. Quick wash, what that does is it will heat the water as normal, wash for a reduced amount of time, an actual time period, then advance and do 2 rinses, but weirdly with a high water level, and then do a full length spin. It wasn't until later on that quick wash became more and more of a actual quick wash. So I've tested this out on cotton 60 at quick wash, and it takes an hour and a half, saving around about half an hour or so. Yeah, about half an hour or so on the time. Intensive rinse, all this does is up the water level on the rinsers to a high level. To be honest, if you want a good rinse level, you're going to want intensive rinse selected all the time. The rinse level's not bad, but it is quite low at the time of manufacturing this machine. Now, of course, you've got rinse hold, which will stop just before it goes on to final spin. And all you have to do then is to advance the timer for rinse hold is just to deselect rinse hold. Then you've got pre-wash, which will add on a 15-minute pre-wash. It's done at cold, actually. I don't think it heats before the main wash. So, just also to reiterate, I haven't really got a program guide. I came across one once, I think briefly before I bought this machine. Can't find it anywhere. It will be somewhere, I think somewhere in my phone, but other than that, yeah, I'm kind of trying to remember what everything does. Right, then we've got variable spin. Obviously 1200, 1000, 800 RPM, 600 RPM, 400 RPM, minimum spin, which I think is about 200 RPM, and then no spin. It will still distribute though on no spin. Right, then we've got variable temperature, 95, 70 degrees, 60 degrees, 50 degrees, 40 degrees, and 30 degrees, and the minimum is cold. Then we've got our programmer here. So, if we turn it to 1, this light's come on. This is our pilot light. Actually, on more weirdly as well, on other models of Whirlpool, it will have written here, automatic half load. And it's right above this LED, but it still has this dash. So I always thought the LED meant it detected an automatic half load. And the reason why I said this, because my auntie's one, this would just always flicker all the time, on and off, like just flicker continuously. Obviously now we realise it was probably a faulty wire or LED unit, but other than that, yeah, I always thought that it was trying to detect a half load. And it's not. It's just the pilot light. Right. So, program 1, cotton 95. Right, you can select all the options for it. All of them. Up to 95 degrees and 1200 spin. Max load is 5 kilograms. Program 2 in synthetics up to 60. Again, you can have pre-wash, rinse hold, intensive rinse, I think of intensive rinse, quick wash, lightly soiled, and energy save. I think you can have them. I've not actually properly tested them. Max spin, you set it to 800, it will spin at 850 RPM to be more precise. Max temperature is up to 60. Then you got program 3, which is delicates at 40 degrees. Max spin is, again, 850 RPM. You can have pre-wash, you can have rinse hold, but I don't think you have any of the other options. Then you got program 4, which is wool, up to 40. Again, max spin up to 850 RPM. I think you can just only have rinse hold. All the other options don't work. Then you got program 5, which is silk at 30. Max spin is 0. It doesn't spin at all. And again, rinse hold is the only option that works for it. Right, oh, max load for silk and wool is 1 kilo. Max load for delicates is 1.5 kilo. And for synthetics is 2 kilograms. Also, notice this as well. Look at the gap here. So these are equal gaps, so 1, 2, and 3. But then when you come into here, they're shorter gaps, and that's because you've got 4 programs on this side, and you've only got 3 programs on this side. Right. Then we've got program A, which is rinse and spin, and that will do a 1 final rinse fabric softener and full length cotton spin. And then B is basically, it says short spin, it's the wool spin. So A, max spin up to 1200, B, max spin up to 850 RPM. I'm just going to show you something else as well, which is this timer. If you notice here, we've got washing, rinsing and spinning. What I'm going to do right now is show you what this timer looks like all the way around. So I've put it on to spin only on a short spin. I'll put it on no spin as well, so it just does a drain. So this section here is the pre-wash section. Then we're on to the main wash section. Then we've got first rinse. Second rinse. Final rinse. And then final spin. And then to cancel program, just press and hold start for 3 seconds. And it'll start advancing the dial off. Right. So the other thing as well, the door cannot be opened until it's at stop. So what it will do, it will usually advance to those few dots there. Wait for the door to unlock and then it will advance again. So you can actually open the door. The door didn't actually lock for that because it didn't actually go into spin. The door will remain unlocked if it can up to a point, but then it will get to a point within the wash where it will lock, but then it will just remain locked throughout the entire wash set. Talking of the door, it's here. The door handle is here, but this door has a fault. So that's loose at the minute, which is a good thing. But if I pull, it's not opening properly, and that's because, yeah, this isn't all the way back. That is your door lock, and it's supposed to be a bit more back than normal. The previous owners have tried to lubricate it up, but unfortunately that isn't the actual cure. But what he will do is happily lock once it's under washing, so you really can't just yank it open. Once it's locked, it's locked. Effectively, as I'm pulling that back, it will be pushing that ever so slightly. Just enough for that clasp to come over it. Right. Then we've got our 5 kilogram drum. So door seal is pretty clean actually. Only 1-2 specks of mould. Other than that, it's pretty nice in here. And actually, to be honest, the mould may have been caused by my seller, who will run a test wash before he sells it. And then he uses liquids and stuff, so you know. I think this has been used with powder throughout its entire life, and very sparingly as well. I don't think it's had that much use. So yeah, it's pretty relatively working. The suspension hasn't collapsed, unlike all other Whirlpools I've had. You can definitely tell that the little tabs haven't snapped off yet. This time, and it does spin like it doesn't give a care whatsoever. The amount of unbalanced spins this will do, I've had, is ridiculous, but it never seems to like be caused by the suspension. It will just ball up and it will still spin. It doesn't care. And yet it does have an unbalanced load detection. It is so crude and will only cut in if it's so badly out of balance that it's already hit in the door before it even goes into spin. Only then will it cut out. Draw, all's there, put your hand in, pull that towards you. Right, so we've got 3 compartments. We've got our pre-wash here, if you select the pre-wash option. Main wash detergent, which all detergent goes in. This is your liquid divider, which handily has markings on it to mark out millilitres. You got 60, 100, 160. Yeah, bit of a weird one. 200 is maximum for it. If you want to pull that in, and that'll go in there. It will clip down. There we go. But if you're not, and you're just using powder, it tucks away in there neatly out the way. Powder wise, you can put up to around 400 millilitres of powder. In the pre-wash, it's 100 ml. Fabric softener goes in here. Don't go beyond the max. I think maximum again for fabric softener is also 100 ml. I'm just going to put lightly soiled on and quick wash on and see what it does. No, I'll just turn it off. Oh, just to also note, intensive rinse, apart from upping the rinse level, it also extends the wash. Now I'll just leave it on quick wash. Just to also note, it has a hot and cold feed, and it will still take on hot even on like 30 degrees. So it's taking on hot and cold now. It will shut off the hot if it goes beyond 30 degrees at any point. So yeah, and Whirlpool have always done this. what to give this out of 10 then? It's going to get a solid 8.5 out of 10. Possibly 9. Up to 9. Whirlpool were very actually at this point, Whirlpool was selling a lot in this in the UK. They were very popular. But strangely, and as you've noticed, where have they all gone? Weirdly, this particular inspirations model seems to be coming up again and time again and again and again. So it does prove that this, weirdly, is more reliable than the other ones, right? Maybe. But that also being said, it all depends on who's been using it and how they've been using it. I like the fact that quick wash at this point is actually a quick wash. A proper quick wash. It doesn't turn every cycle into like a 30-minute wash, which is what the later ones did. The later ones, they use like quick wash on, say, a normal cotton cycle. You know, it will do 60 in like 45 minutes. But it's only made for washing a half load. Quick wash, I feel like this one is still made for washing a full load. And it's just there simply to heat and then wash for 8 times period. Unlike, say, the normal length cycles, where like cotton's 40 is 2 hours regardless. I like the fact that actually now I've found out that cotton's 30, yeah, it just takes it a little over an hour. That's quite good, that. I'm going to try out synthetics in a minute, but I feel like if I use synthetics, it will do it in like half an hour. In which case, if that's the case, then technically, what we just use is daily wash, effectively. I like the fact that intensive rinse ups the rinse level. I like the fact that quick wash does only 2 rinses, but will up the rinse level to compensate. That is pretty cool. Whirlpool are definitely thinking ahead at this point. It's only letdowns, realistically, are its suspension. It always has been. The tabs just break and then that's it. A weird setup. You know, it's always been a weird setup with them. I like to say spiders and bearings, but that's by the by. The spiders, I think, did break a little bit more often. It took time, but they did break. I like the fact that actually, even here, it just tells you how to cancel a program. Just hold the start button, which is pretty cool. It gives you every option that you need. It gives you every program that you need. I can't realistically see this and go, oh, well, I wish I had this program or this option, because everything's kind of there. Yeah, 9 out of 10. I'm going to stick with 9 out of 10. I do love it. Cool. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to give us a like. Don't forget to comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already for more washing machine content. And I'll see you in another video. Maybe another wash race or another review. Who knows? See you soon.